All right, what's up, guys? So, welcome to my music channel, Hit the Note. And in today's video, I more so wanted to do this video explaining to people that it is okay if there is somebody in this world that doesn't like the same type of music that you like. And that's something that, I learned it at a young age where I'm like, yeah, everybody's not going to be into that type of, whatever it is that is like, and I mean, it could be for music. Here's the thing. I want this video to, like using the main example talking about music, but I want this to go with everything, whether it's TV shows, books, movies, people, it don't matter. But it's like you need to understand that it is okay, to not you and whoever it is, it's like you guys aren't a fan of the same stuff. Now, yes, if you can find a mutual ground and you guys can be a fan of the same stuff, then okay, cool. But if not, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, bruh, let it go. It's like you'll be okay. But no, yeah. So for those that don't know, this was Variety posted by them, but they go on to say Josh Hutcherson says backlash over saying he doesn't like Taylor Swift's music is always why I don't want to be online, talking about himself. And yeah, man, that's one thing that I will say is that Taylor Swift, she is an artist where she could come out with the worst song of all time. I will not have no opinion on it. I might talk about it, I might make a couple of memes about it, but I am going to be extremely careful with what I say. But no, the one thing that I do want to use as an example, kind of just talking about like how strong a fan base can be. So I just remember when that one guy, Lil Xan, when he did that interview and he was reviewing music or rating music, I think, and I think they asked him, "How do you feel about Tupac's music?" And he was like, "Oh, it's boring" or something like that. Into his career. I feel like that Little Xan has not had the same momentum when he had that song, like it was like pretty much like his biggest song and stuff. I can't think of the name of it, but that's where we're at right now. We can't even remember this man's music, and it was being played heavily some years ago. So, but yeah, it's like you can't talk about somebody and then think that the fans is just gonna be like, oh, okay, like he thinks Tupac's music. Nah, bruh. And that's the thing with Tupac is that this man had fans from when I like, well, at least like when I was in school, like there was kids that knew of him and stuff. And yeah, I'm like, meanwhile, I'm out here listening to the Scooby Doo soundtrack. I'm like, what else? The Shrek soundtrack. And so I'm like, I couldn't listen to rap music when I was a kid, and so if I could, it had to be the clean version. And if you're like curious, it wasn't as bad as like how kind of like how it is in NBA 2K, where it's like they're censoring out whole sentences and stuff. And it's like, well, why put the song in the game and stuff? You might as well just have the instrumentals or something. But yeah, I couldn't listen to rap music when I was a kid. It was weird, man. It was weird listening to clean music. But anyways, but no, yeah, it's like I remember all the way back when I was in school, like Tupac had strong fans, like, and this was elementary and stuff. So yeah, it's like as you get older, then it's like, you like have more love for music and stuff. And then there's that artist, and I imagine that's how Taylor Swift fans feel about her and things, whether it's a kid in elementary, middle school, high school, college, full grown adults. It don't matter. It's one of those things where it's like you have to, and I feel like that saying that, oh, I guess like, because I know people probably ask me that question. I'm like, do I like Taylor Swift's music? I feel like that it needs to be a proper way of answering that question. I can't say that I like her music, but I can't say that I hate her music. Like I'm not going to, downplay her music. Obviously, she's one of the greatest artists of our time. And I'm like, that's something that even if I did have the power to take that away, we got to remember that Taylor Swift, she got millions of fans all across the world. So it would take everything in me. I mean, I would need the SWAT team, I would need the Navy SEALs, I would need any and everything's possible to try to bring down Taylor Swift's music or the love that people have for her music. But it's like, what could you possibly say about her music to get people to not like it? It would be impossible to do that. She would have to destroy her own career, but I would never be able to destroy. And that's what I think a lot of people need to understand too, is that Josh Hutcherson, he cannot destroy Taylor Swift's career. Like, she is one of those artists. I've never heard her in no controversy unless it's somebody doing something to her. I don't think she's like, I mean, yeah, it might be a bad day here and there and stuff, but yeah, it's like, but as far as like, I guess like when it comes down to the entertainment business, yeah, it's like you can't say that she's out there trying to put a target on her back. So like that's why I'm like, yeah, to just blatantly hate on her music and she ain't did nothing to you. Yeah, no, that's one of those things. I think that's what some people got confused by it, is that they're making it seem like that he hates her music, but it's like no, he just doesn't listen to it. I don't listen to her music. Only song I've ever heard of hers is the song that she did with Kendrick Lamar, and that was like when I like actually sitting down listening to it from first second to last. But then yeah, I might hear commercials or if they're talking about her on TV or something, or even if somebody has like her song on TikTok, I've mainly heard snippets of her songs, but I've never actually went out my way besides the Kendrick Lamar song. But other than that, I'm like, yeah, I ain't go out my way and listen to no Taylor Swift music and stuff. But I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because there's artists where to a Taylor Swift fan, there's artists that I know of that you guys might not know of and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, and I'm not trying to compare and say like, oh, they're one and the same. Obviously, yeah, like I said, Taylor Swift, she's a much more bigger artist than some of the artists that I listen to. But yeah, it's one of those things though where it's like somebody saying that they don't like her music, that's not going to end her career. That's not going to put a stain on her career. None of that. Josh Hutcherson, he might be like, an actor that is, I ain't gonna say he's the most popular. Like he's like the Taylor Swift of acting. If I had to think, like, dang, who could I compare him to? Like it's I don't, I'm trying to think of somebody, but it's like at the same time, like I don't know, like dang, I can't think of nobody. I'm trying to think of an actor and stuff. Yeah, he's just he's one of those artists. Okay, because I can't think of no artists, but he's one of those artists where it's like he's not popular, but you know of him. Where it's like, and it's like, yeah, you've seen him in some features, you heard some songs of his and stuff. But it's not like he's a one hit wonder, but he's one of those artists where he's a respectable artist and stuff. I can't think of no artists that are like that and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, it's like if I my thing is this. If I'm a Taylor Swift fan and then they're like, oh, Josh Hutcherson doesn't like her music, okay, what that got to do with me? Is that going to stop me from listening to her music? So that's how fans have to think. Are you going to stop listening to her music because Josh Hutcherson said that he doesn't like? Because if that's the case, you need to regain control back over your life, right? You shouldn't be out here listening to what other people are saying about artists that you're a fan of. So, but anyways, with that being said, yeah, man, I just felt like it was needed to talk about that, add my 2 cents to the matter. I seen this a while back and I was like, nah, I've been meaning to talk about it and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.